I felt like Group A, like Vici and Alliance were so evenly matched. Beast Coast did not look bad at all.
No, I mean it feels like Group A was a little bit more stacked after seeing the results.
Hey,
of which.
we're Henry G and Sadakist.
Henry G and Sadakist, dude. I mean, I'll be honest, that might be an upgrade.
Are they like the Toby and +1?
They're
the Owen and Fog.
Yeah, they're pretty much the Owen and Fog of
I see.
CSGO, so I think they got an upgrade.
Oh, yikes.
Hey, there we are. Capitalist and Blitz. Welcome, everybody, to TNC and Alliance. We saw the odds come up. This is definitely going to be an interesting match.
Do you remember what I said when a good outgame is?
When is it a good outgame?
Do you recall what I said about yesterday?
Yes.
What did I say?
Well, the viewers probably don't remember what you said, so you should probably say it again.
You don't remember, do you? I literally said it at the beginning of the game.
I remember asking you about it. Normally, I do remember these things, but...
Okay, I said that it's really good when you get to play against these, like, mid-game pace heroes like...
There it is. There's our odds coming up with TNC Predator. The heavy favorites. You were talking about the gap, right? The 15 to 20 minute you can't pressure them.
Yeah.
So you were talking about Void, I believe.
And Mag.
And Mag. You were talking about Mag too.
I was saying like Mag PA, Mag Jug lineups.
Right.
Because the problem with them is they want to farm. They want to chill and farm while this guy gets active on the map.
Yeah. And by the time you come online, Alka's already hit his 3-4 item.
Precisely.
So that's where our panel was talking about, like, hey, you gotta get in there. You gotta get inside the jungle, and they were kind of theory crafting who can do that. Pugna seems to be the best person to try and contest Alchemist's jungle. They've got Rubik and Jakiro, which is just kind of okay.
Pugna's pretty good, but everything you have to think about comes down to like what happens when he gets his BKB.
Yeah.
It's not even the Radiance that's the big thing. Because like he'll get the Radiance fast. It's how do you deal with this hero when he has BKB? They're hoping that their Void is able to do enough damage.
What do you think about the Enigma pick, by the way?
It's just what TNC runs a lot. Like when we did prep during Dream League or whatever, we were looking at their lineups and stuff like that and saw that they picked a lot of Night Stalker and what was the other hero? Enigma?
I've been wanting to see that. I don't think they picked it so far this tournament, the Safe Lane Night Stalker.
KP and Tim's both play it as well. The
Tim's plays it. They play a 4 Night Stalker?
Oh no, the Enigma.
Gabby.
The Enigma.
Oh yeah. So it's a nice, like... I found their opening to be a little weird, though. The Beastmaster Chen opener from TNC.
I think they're just heroes that they really like. It fits, like, that March style of Dota play. If anything, I feel like Chen and, like, Io really encapsulate how this guy wants to play Dota. He just wants to, like, kind of tank it up, help his safe laner get a good laning phase, and then just kind of sit and get carried.
TNC is one of the few teams that is, like, still actively running the Wisp Gyro duo.
Yeah, it's like, you know, March is like, all right, guys, I outdrafted them. Like, now you carry me. He just kind of chills. Of course,
every
it's like
once in a
more
while, I'm going to run
that.
into a smoke gank and die, and that's fine.
Like, you know, I did my job. You know, they're happy for it. I mean, March is a really good 5 player, but he really, especially in this meta, embodies that, like, I'm going to sacrifice my own game to make everyone else's better. So it's like, how much impact do you expect to have him in game? So it's better to put him on these kinds of heroes and let Gabby and Armel shine.
Yeah.
Not everybody in the game can have that huge impact. Everybody gets a huge amount of farm. It just doesn't work like that. Like the greedier cores that you have and the greedier players that you have, it means you have to lean into the 5 position even more.
Yeah. All the more important for you to be able to win your lanes, which is what, you know, at least the Chen pick is designed to be able to do.
Yeah. I will say, by the way, we've talked about TNC ad nauseum, but I think, for example, like, I really like Alliance's new lineup. I feel like it just kind of makes sense to me. It feels like they have a lot more identity than they used to. Like, I used to think that Limp was that player that, like, could never really put it together, had all the intangibles, like, on paper, good player, wins his lane, good teammate from all accounts, like, really stable guy. I mean, we've met him through several alliance, like, he's really chill.
Yeah, super nice, chill guy. Can shit talk in the interviews we saw in the pregame interviews with Slacks.
Yeah, so it's like, what exactly is it that prevents him? And I think what he really needed was, like, no offense to Kyle or anything, but maybe he needed the right kind of captain to enable him to sort of like build upon his strengths. And now that he has a lot of that confidence, this team, it feels like they've got like an identity. Because there are a lot of castaways on this lineup. You've got Hanskin, who a lot of people flamed, you know, going into the season. They're just like, this guy? You know, like, this guy's never shown us anything. Well, it's like, no, he's always been good.
His brightest moment was when he first came into Dota 2.
Yeah, exactly.
And, you know, like, ever since, it's always been middling or poor results.
Yeah, but this guy's always been good. He just... The coolest part, I think, about this lineup and what I appreciate is they all work together really well. Maybe, like, individually... If maybe it's like, oh, hold that thought, is KP likely going to die here?
Work together to finish off KP for the first blood for Nico Baby.
Yeah, Nico Baby probably like their, you know, huge star and all that, but when it comes to it, like a lot of these guys, their reputations have taken such a big hit, especially like Fada. You know, everyone was like, really Fada 5? But you know, they just make each other better, and I think that's really cool to see.
So you think this lineup is more than just a Nico Baby vehicle?
Yeah, of course.
Like, could you swap out Nico Baby for, let's say, Skeeter from Ninjas in Pajamas, and with this lineup still see, like, maybe not the same success, but, you know, relatively close?
I don't know about that. That's no flame to Skeeter, because I just think, like, they just work well for each other. I think this is a lineup that I hope gets to stay together just because I feel like they make each other better.
Yeah.
Which I think is a really cool thing to see in Dota.
Yeah. It's definitely been a lot of talk about how Nico Baby is a game winner, but the rest of Alliance do set him up for success.
I mean, they enable his playstyle for sure. Like, they started this lane by tri-laning for him. They're going to make sure that he gets absolute free farm.
They gave him the first blood.
Really what it is a carry nowadays in the meta is like, if we secure your farm, just don't lose the game for us.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you're going to do exactly as we expected. We're going to give you the free lane. We're going to make sure this offlaner doesn't mess with you. Just, you know, do your job.
Meanwhile, Limp is able to focus on what he does best, which is winning 1v1 matchups.
Oh, Limp is like the king of winning lanes. He actually, even when they were bad and stuff like that, that old squad that he was a part of, he always won lanes. That was never the problem with Limp. You're never like, man, Limp just lost his lane for the 15th time. It was like, Limp won his lane. Can he get something out of it? As most likely going to go down here, Armel.
Good rotations
TP, though, by
from
Tims.
Fada and Hanskin. Armel, he's slowly regenning, but it's not going to be good enough. Hanskin will take the last hit for that kill. 2 kills already for Alliance in the first 6 minutes of this game.
A little bit expected, just because I feel like their lineup is really slow. And I think that's why you have to pick Gabby as like a non-one position hero here, because you have a Chen and an Enigma.
Yeah.
You have 2 heroes that don't really do anything for you for quite a bit of time.
And you have a Beastmaster. That is a slow offlaner. That is not a hero that's going to run around and get you kills nonstop at 12 minutes.
Yeah,
so.
he wants to secure his own offlane first. You want people to come to you. You don't want to have to come to people.
And I think that this game will be a really good test in a way for Gabby to be able to demonstrate how good, because we've already seen him carry games, and this is going to be, I think, one of the ultimate, like, hey, you really have to be a do shit safe lane carry. You have to make all the moves, because you don't have anybody else to make the moves for you in this game.
This Enigma won't make space for you, and we see that off the bat. He's going to hit a very nice stun, get in front of 33, make it so that it's impossible for him to survive.
Just sitting on the high ground, waiting for KP to run up, and he will run into his doom, especially with time of dilation. They don't even need the Chronosphere, I think.
No, they got him.
Yeah, they got him.
This is what I mean. They're going to secure Nico Baby's farm. But they need to do this because they do have the better lanes, I'd say, at being able to get kills off the bat. And it's easier for their heroes to rotate and make moves. Aside from like 33, his life will just suck. He's gonna max in power, and you know that's what you got to deal with, buddy.
I was gonna say, like, Beastmaster doesn't want to rotate out of his lane. Gabby's gonna have to rotate to him. You know, they could get the Primal Roar kill and then turn that into a tower. It's so good if this safe laner can actually kill the offlane tower before he rotates. Mid lane, we're gonna watch Tims try and protect the mid tower while the Alchemist is away farming jungle, but he will die, and it looks like the tower may fall as well. So Alliance already picking up the pace, putting the pressure on these early objectives with their core Pugna.
Yeah, they recognize, oh, this is a very nice stack to steal, though. But they're recognizing exactly what we said. Like, our lineup is meant to win this phase of the game. Let's get aggressive as possible because TNC there's no counterplay for them. There's nothing that TNC can really do aside from move Gabby around the map.
All right, now what are you going to do with this? March and Gabby, they're actually going to turn and fight and maybe kill 33. He is able to walk away. The telekinesis
on
put
top of the
on
cliff.
top of the cliff with Limp just laying into him with that life drain. So Gabby will eventually die here, and so will March as he cannot get away from Nico Baby. Once again, Alliance are able to get kills without having to use their Chronosphere.
But they're going to lose the top tower for this. This is where KP's game now gets enabled. Like I said, even though he has Roar, he's not going to move. He wants you to move to him. So they're going to grab this tower, and what I'd really like for them to do is just completely own this side of the map now. You probably aren't taking mid tower with the heroes that you have, as we're going to see the replay again. Probably should have killed 33 there.
Yeah, that was, I think, a little bit of bumbling of spells there, but...
2 nice kills for them. TNC just kind of have to make space wherever they can.
Yeah.
I don't think they should have been that aggressive, but they did steal stacks.
They did steal stacks, and they did get a tower off of all of that.
And they haven't had to use the chrono yet, so they should be a little bit worried about that at all times right now.
Onskin setting up to go for the 10-minute bounty rune. Is actually going to get the telekinesis toss up into the cliff area from KP, so he's a little bit delayed, retreating backwards, but they're going to turn with a Primal Roar. Limp, though, coming in from the side. Get the bounty rune and get out. That's the play for TNC, but they may not be able to do so as Nico Baby actually pops a Chronosphere. He had to time walk in, so he had to save himself with the Chrono. Looks like Tims will pay the ultimate price at top lane for getting that bounty rune. Still, though, how many did they get there, JJ?
That was 2 for 2.
No, that's 3 for TNC.
3 for 1, okay.
3 for 1. So that's got to be worth it, right? For an Alk lineup.
Plus I got Void Chrono off.
Oh yeah, that actually makes it mega worth. Vada, don't think you're getting away from this one, my friend.
Vada is so incredibly dead. Hadouken!
It is one of those nice 5s to be able to push out lanes and such, but he is going to be food for Beastmaster.
Oh yeah, Beastmaster's just going to chase him in circles. It's hard to hit the ice path too. Ponskin going to get that freebie. Gabby's farm, of course they've got the boots of travel on him. TNC especially seem to like this build on all their cores.
Yeah.
Just added mobility. It's really nice when you have Beastmaster too because you can TP onto any of the animals.
Mm-hmm. And the combined idea of having vision, right?
Yes.
Like they always have this sort of vision hero that makes your boots of travels more useful because you're able to abuse, push in lanes where the enemy team is not, while still simultaneously being able to group up. I think Leshrac is just an insane space maker when put as this sort of like safe lane core where he's able to get his guaranteed farm because he literally just runs down lanes. He bursts down towers. And he bursts down, lane creeps. He's able to farm neutrals really efficiently. It's so hard to keep this guy from farming.
He's going to get his soul now, though. So that's 4 points of Edict. Got to be careful. They've got 4 points of Edict now, and they've got a Pug now.
Now,
be a little bit concerned.
They, we're talking about the danger of an Alk lineup. And to be honest, it's looking like TNC, they're just going to hit their timings on the Alk anyway. But this is more of a mid-game window for TNC, right?
Yeah.
Like Alliance, they still have the better late game carry in Void, right?
Trying to think. Yeah, I'd say so.
With the mag and stuff.
Yeah, he's got a lot of tools to help him out. They have a lot of damage that they can throw into the Chronosphere too, which is always what I look for in a Void lineup.
Yeah.
Sometimes I felt like some of the, the Fighting Pandas or whatever, they just pick this Void and be like, well, it's fine. We got Void back. Without really thinking about any of the other conditions that enable the hero.
Yeah. And some of those conditions are having damage you can lay into the Chronosphere, and Alliance has that in spades for sure.
Oh, look at this. They are going to bring Gabby in. This is what we expected. For TNC, they just want to kill whatever hero they can. Yeah. If that makes sense. You're less concerned about getting core kills and more about slowing down the timing of Alliance. Because I think Alliance especially is one of the more prolific 5-man lineups. Like, they really like to 5-man around the map.
Yeah.
So don't give them that opportunity to get these pickoffs. Don't let them just, like, group up for free otherwise they feel real good about themselves.
Do you think that's why they went for this like last pick Alchemist and the Celesтрek pick? Those are heroes that definitely abuse the fact that you want a 5-man.
Yes.
And if you 5-man, you can't be all over the map and you can't stop Leshrac and Alk farming.
But eventually you will have to take team fights, which is where I think Alliance feel very comfortable.
Yeah.
Like their team fighting has been unreal throughout the season so far.
2,000 net worth lead for TNC. So pretty much means the game's about even, seeing as they have an Alk lineup. But with the Radiance coming up, this is just going to speed up his timings even more. He's going straight for the BKB. Straight for a fighting build, which kind of leads into what we were talking about, a very mid-game focused. Gabby does actually find Fada here, but with the TP rotations, Gabby quickly realizes he can't stick around. He's going to be caught by the Ice Path, Micropyre, taking so much damage already, but there's no real catch. And now TNC, actually just some extra space being thrown out by KP, goes for the Primal Roar to allow everybody on his team to escape cleanly.
He's very fast.
Yeah. Leshrac or Beastmaster?
The Lesh.
Yes.
Lesh just kind of ran away.
I hate that about that hero, man.
But there are a lot of counters.
Blame Sumail for that one, man. Ever since he came up with the movement speed Leshrac build, that has been abused one way or another, different builds over time. The hottest thing being going Boots of Travel first. 15-minute bounty runes. Looks like TNC have secured 3 Alliance. They are giving up so much ground, and now they're going to give away hero kills as well. Gabby, though, may be in trouble. Look at Fada. He's trying to sacrifice his body to make sure Gabby doesn't get too far away, but do they have any lockdown? They're going to have to use the Chronosphere to make sure that Gabby does die here. The chain heal going off is not going to make a difference. Not for Gabby and not for his neutral creeps, it seems.
Now we're at a 5K lead. And this is the concern of when you have Void Mag, is like you usually want an offlaner on 33 that can put pressure, or protect towers, and he's not really either of those roles. This is very much like a Nico Baby, you know, do your thing, which is ideal for Alk drafts to play against, which is what I was trying to tell you yesterday. Like playing Alk drafts against these kinds of slower pace lineups where there is going to be an inevitable time where you just want to utilize the fact that you got 4 points of empower, means you can't really team fight. You're 4v5ing effectively. Your mag doesn't really have too many items, like he can't really do anything aside from be an empower bot when you decide to go for the scale build and go for this playstyle.
You can't attack the enemy team, the map's getting smaller, so there's less farm for you to work off of.
It's like the same reason why Alk actually works really nice against like anti-mage and Spectre lineups, because you push the pace so quickly.
Hanskin, with a haste rune that he found, will try and get the kill onto Gabby. Thanks to the splitter steal, he will be able to land the Ice Path follow-up, and Gabby's still not dead. Now the Primal Roar coming in from the side. KP, he actually wants to fight this one. That's because Armel is coming in. Unstable Concoction, nailing the Pugna. Got the Decrepify off. That's going to be able to buy Limp sometime, but Fada's already dead on the side, and Limp is eventually going to die to the chase down. That is a kill streak being given to Armel as well.
I like what Hanskin's doing here. He's trying to split things up, but he might actually just get caught anyways. The Eidolon's trying to find him right now. If he pops the Pulse Nova, he'll know for sure, but gets the Yules off.
That'll be just an easy chain stun combo.
They might even decide to go high ground here. Oh,
yeah.
No, they're going to back up and reset. This is not really the Alliance like bread and butter, though, that I'm used to seeing anyways. I'm used to seeing like 33 play those like I press W, buff you up, but I can also sit in front of towers and defend. Mag, of course, has empower, but it's different than like a save in that regard. And TNC throughout this tournament has been pretty good at getting map control, to say the least.
Maybe this just isn't the kind of draft that can punish TNC. Definitely seems like the kind of lineup where they said, we're going to let TNC crash into us and we're going to beat them in team fights when it really counts. So far, that hasn't happened. With a 9,000 net worth lead on TNC, it's tough to see how Alliance will be able to kill more than just one core in a team fight, but we'll have to see. Especially with the BKB. Armel is now going to go for a heart after the BKB blink that he's picked up. and possibly a pipe for the Beastmaster, and that would just make Armel unstoppable, I think.
Yeah. For Alliance, you have to take a fight. Like, that sounds silly to say, like, obviously they need to, but the problem with Void as a hero against Alk is that Chrono has such a long cooldown, but Alk can always fight. So it doesn't even matter if you win one fight. You've got to, like, stomp that fight.
Yeah.
Otherwise, the Alk is just going to do the same thing, go down lanes. This time you don't have Chronosphere. Like, you've got to make your stand at some point soon. Otherwise, you'll lose way too much map control. They'll get Roche. Aegis is the counter to Chronosphere.
It did kind of seem like, you know, they were trying to use Nico Baby early, you know, to run around that time where they were getting kills, but he didn't have to use Chronosphere.
Yeah.
And then they just kind of stopped. It felt like they stopped putting in that pressure, you know, of like trying to use this Chronosphere every single time it's off cooldown to get some sort of kill. To at least slow down the TNC flood that is about to happen.
Sun's being charged up right now. They're trying to see if they can get any stragglers here. The instant jump in on a limp.
The Hawk manages to find the Pugna leading into the Primal Roar just to make sure that the mid-core of Alliance does die, and the tier 2 is now theirs.
They can
for
just
the
go Roche
taking.
now too, TNC.
Oh, yeah.
There's got to be a moment, though, where Alliance have to look at this game and just feel like, we're losing everything right now. You at least have to chance a smoke. Maybe not look for a straight-up 5-on-5, but something along those lines, because you are losing all semblance of map control.
I mean, they've given up 3, now 4 bounty runes for this time, and a kill, looks like. Espada, okay, the Chronosphere laid out with no Chemical Rage, no BKB activated either. This is a good time to get a lot of
And
damage onto this.
Get...
and if he gets a little bit more stuns, then Chen Heal going down. Armel finally pops the BKB,
nice.
but he still goes down, so that is a big win for Alliance. KP now going to try and make it back. Ice Path, not quite long enough. Nico Baby, not quite lucky enough to be able to get a bash. Maybe with the black hole from Tim's. 3-man black hole with the axes over the top, but they need a little bit more damage. It's just not quite enough. They'll be able to get the real wood kill, yes, but Nico Baby is still the monster you need to be able to defeat here. Gabby, now the damage is going to be here, but he immediately gets RP'd by 33. Nico Baby doesn't want to challenge the Leshrac, though. He wants to get out of this fight. There's the Ice Path, but it doesn't actually hit Gabby, so he'll be able to get the stun back in. Nico Baby going back in with a time walk. You can't time walk into that fight. You don't have BKB, you madman. He's going to try and get back with a second time walk. KP almost catching up to him, but no, not just enough vision or distance to be able to get that Primal Roar up.
Wow, Tim's completely salvaging this fight. Looked like KP was going to go down for sure. They were all stacked up in the perfect position. Fada just barely didn't have the Ice Path. That was enough to do it. They get the kill one after another. Their Beastmaster strong enough, and look at the Leshrac coming after pressuring that top lane. 33. This is not the kind of role that we like seeing him on. His RP doesn't really put out damage. His team wasn't willing to fight around it either. You never like those like full retreat RPs. And now that Chronosphere is down, TNC is going to abuse the fact that their Alk is fight ready at all times.
Yep.
There was a pretty big error that he made too. His Reaver was inside his stash. Or he actually most likely lives there.
Yeah, I think so. They had just like barely had enough damage. They would have run out of damage. He would have regened up, and well, I think there was a lot of reasons that Alliance was lucky.
Yeah,
I think
TNC,
they were lucky Gabby didn't have Boots of Travel sooner for the black hole play.
I think TNC were just a little bit, they were cocky. But Alliance have to take fights, and they saw that Gabby wasn't there.
Yeah.
Probably thought this is our opportunity. You have to use, you can't not use Chrono for 20 minutes against an Alk lineup and expect to win.
Yeah.
And Hanskin's gonna get caught up again.
Poor Hanskin. He's sitting there in the trees, but he was directly in sight of that ward that was laid out. Nico Baby does have the Chronosphere. With just the time dilation, he's really hoping he can get the kill without having to use his ultimate and be abused. He will be able to get that Aegis away.
But top, though.
He has to TP back to the top lane to be able to protect his tier 3. Well, that's going to fall. Maybe protect the barracks. They don't have Gabby here. Nico Baby has arrived, but he wants a better Chronosphere than just locking down this Alchemist who sits on the front line. They're slowing down. Now they're going to go for it, and it is just going to be this Alchemist.
He does not
don't
deal
really
enough
have
damage.
a ton of damage to lay into him, but the Campbell Grage has worn out. Chen Heal going down, but Gabby and the rest of TNC is now here with the BKB activated by Armel. Nico Baby just does not do enough damage, and TNC are just going to calmly walk out of this fight, and they can take Shrines at their leisure now.
They should reset, get some mana, take the Shrines, and they can go for it again. As we see, Nico Baby comes in, leaps in pretty confidently, but the Alk still had the remnants of his ulti for the first 2 seconds there, and by the time it ended, with the Chen heal, not even close.
I mean, there was also no Jakiro to lay damage into it. There was no like Ice Path to Chain Stun even. Yeah. There was no Life Drain. That was on cooldown.
They're just going to go for it again, and TNC rightfully should. If you thought the fight was easy before, now there's no Chronosphere.
Well, the assault begins, and Alliance may just have to concede this lane of Barracks unless Hanskin can get something really good here. Unstable Concoction leading off, follow up Ice Path. Just chain stunning him, but no real damage.
He's in the back, but he needs to get the Rubik or wait for the Rubik to steal a spell first. I don't even think it's very necessary for him to have to lead in with a Black Hole. This is their fourth layer of in case we mess up. And that's the crazy part about their lineup. It looks so scary.
The final trump card in the deck is not needed. They walk away with a lane of Barracks and a 20,000 net worth lead now on TNC. And a fresh round of items. BKB for Gabby. The medallion now for the Beastmaster, which eventually he will turn into the Solar Crest to amp up Armel even more.
Part of the problem, I think, with like when you have Void plus Mag is what Void really needs more than like that damage is that attack speed. Everything that he gets item-wise and his skill set lends to attack speed, whereas like Empower doesn't really do that for you. It pays off because you start to farm a little bit faster, but you need time. Like you need to buy more time for your Void so that he can get like 4 items, and then he's a beast with this Empower. But as it stands, like, you know, he just doesn't really put out enough damage, and like we talked about before the game started, the ALK timing is so good versus the Mag timing.
Pretty sure TNC's gotten like 14 out of the last 16 bounty runs.
Yeah, that helps. Doesn't hurt.
Jumps up to another 23K with probably with Shrine going down. We're going to be looking at a 25,000 net worth lead for TNC.
Has never dipped in this game. Jeez. TNC's so good. They make everything look so good.
Yeah.
This isn't... I don't even know if this is Alliance being like bad. They played the early game reasonably well. But I just want to give a lot of credit to TNC.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes the team can just play out of their minds, have good drafts. And this is like their... This is one of their last stands. You have to stomp the fight here. Nico Baby looking for the backline. He's going to catch KP first.
Leads off on KP, and that's all he's going to Chronosphere to. TNC is just way too split up, and Tim's waiting in the high ground, waiting for his opportunity to be able to jump in. They finally... No, he still doesn't finish off KP. He still gets Primal Roar. 33 doesn't catch it. To go for the RP, but he doesn't see an opportunity. Now he's going to let it down with 2 heroes.
Look at
with
Tim's.
the cleave, they can do some damage. Tim's just waiting this entire time. Eventually, he will show himself and try and get that one little stun. He's just a small little half-second stun. That's all he needed to do to be able to make sure Nico Baby dies. Black Hole still in the bank here as Hanskin's going to get jumped in by Armel, and that's it. Now the Black Hole comes out.
Give it back to them.
Stolen by Hanskin. He gets a 4-man, but that is all you will get out of this Game 1 Alliance because TNC, another perfect thrashing.
I will say, aside from that bottom fight, which actually Tim's is amazing